Good morning, Thunder Bay. Good morning, Northwestern Ontario. Welcome to Superior Morning here on CBC Radio 1. It's Tuesday, September the 11th. I'm Lisa Lacko. And we are here on location at Thunder Bay Police Services on Balmoral. There are flashing lights, there are police officers. More importantly, there's coffee, there's donuts, and there's good company here this morning. We're enjoying ourselves. Thank you for inviting us to come along. So coming up in just a moment's time, this fall is going to be a busy one for Thunder Bay Police. We'll get an update on some of their new programs and tools. I know you've been working on, in terms of stronger relationship with the community as well. I mean, that's been a real focus for you. Tell me about some of the things you've done there.
Well, within the project itself, I think it's a bit of outside the box. We looked at creating a committee, but not only a committee made up of members of the Thunder Bay Police Service, but we have 3 community members that are part of our working group. So they're from different backgrounds, different organizations, but they really bring a different lens to the table, really an outside of policing lens, which is really what we wanted for this first step of our project.
So, Jill, let's bring you and Flynn in on the conversation. When did you get involved with St. John Ambulance and the therapy dog program?
Flynn is a 6-year-old German Shepherd. She's been part of the program for the last 3 years, and it was in June that we first started the visits to the police station.
So when you come in here, walk me through what you do when you come into the police station.
We get dragged into the police station by Flynn, who knows that she's going to get lots and lots of attention. Gerald usually meets us right downstairs, and then we get escorted through the different offices and the different areas within the police building itself.
So, Gerald, tell me more about that. I mean, so it's just bring Flynn in for the day, or
Yep.
how does it work?
We have a volunteer from our department, civilian member or a sworn member that will volunteer their time, and they escort the handler and the dogs around the station. There's no set pattern. It's if the dog and the handler says that we want to spend some extra time with this member, then they'll do that. There's no timeline.
So how does it work?
So right now, because it's only the pilot project and there's only limited funding, it's basically everybody working off the side of the desk. We have our officers that respond to mental health calls, just officers, regular patrol officers that are on the road. They respond to mental health act calls that come in, people in crisis, and at the same time, staff from CMHA, Canadian Mental Health, respond. They're called Crisis Mobile Response Workers. They respond to the calls as well. The officers, depending on what the situation is and as it's unfolding, whether the officers will go in first and assess the safety, and then the crisis workers will attend shortly thereafterward. And it's basically the person in crisis gets the services they need at the time they need it, which hadn't been happening. What had been happening in the past is the officers would respond to the call and their hands are tied basically on what can be done. They at the time need to transport them to the hospital to get a psychiatric assessment done, and then services provided to them, maybe at the hospital, maybe not, for another 72 hours.